Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man, and today we're going to be talking about something a little different. We're going to be talking about this long storied history of T.I. and the snitch allegations and what's going on with that video that keeps resurfacing from the Crimestoppers video commercial. So in this video, we're going to talk about T.I.'s history with the law, which is long and extensive. We're going to talk about all of his arrests leading up to this situation we have today. We're going to talk about the relationships that he had in the past that contributed to the fact that a lot of people have thrown dirt on the King of the South's name. But before we begin, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and let's get it. Now, the story begins in 1998 when T.I., real name Clifford Harris, had been jailed for a drug conviction. Now, in this conviction, the case against him basically said that he was in possession of a controlled substance and he was given false information when arrested. Now, I'm guessing in that situation, he probably either didn't give his name or gave a false name to the authorities. Now, while serving out his probation for that 1998 arrest, T.I. would drop one of his classic albums, I'm Serious. Now, I'm Serious propelled T.I. to new heights and new levels in the South. This was Atlanta's favorite album at the time, and the South's favorite album at the time as well. After garnering much critical acclaim, T.I. would follow up his 2001 release with his 2003 release, Trap Music. Now, this is the album that propelled T.I.'s career to new heights that he probably couldn't even foresee. It was a list of hits on this album, including 24's, Be Easy, Rubber Band Man, and Let's Get Away. The album was certified platinum, and T.I. was certified a star. But as the old adage from the great poet Biggie Smalls says, more money, more problems, man. Because in December of 2003, there was an arrest warrant issued for T.I. Yeah, man, he was in trouble. So T.I. waited it out and didn't turn himself in until April 2004, and he was sentenced to 1 year in jail for violating his parole. Now, while in custody, the story gets a little crazy, man. So T.I. is serving out his year, and then he's actually given a work release program pretty early. Now, while on work release, T.I. is allowed by the guards to film a music video or portions of his music video at the Fulton County Jail where he's not a prisoner in. Now, this caused a big controversy because while T.I. was filming this video, another inmate escaped. Yes, you can't make this stuff up. Now, this didn't hurt the rapper's rep at the time, but just drew up some controversy that was sure to follow T.I. later on in his career as things developed and as he became more successful. While on work release, T.I. took full advantage of the situation. He went to the studio and hit it hard, man, and grinded it out, and he did multi-albums worth of work, man. It said that he recorded up to 5 albums worth of material while on work release, man. And he did majority of it in his hometown of Atlanta. But the album that he worked on the most was his 2004 release, T.I. Urban Legend. Now, T.I. Urban Legend is the album that propelled T.I. from just a Southern superstar to a hip-hop superstar. That's when people started really taking notice of the King of the South, and people really started to appreciate what he brought to the table. Now, as crazy as it may seem, T.I. kept his nose clean for almost 3 years after Urban Legend was released. He was really bigging up and becoming a star, and dude took off to the next stratosphere. He started doing movies. He started doing so many other things, man. His career took off from where he was a hip-hop name to a household name. There was nowhere in America you could go and not know who T.I. was. As a follow-up, in 2006, he released King, which went platinum, and then in 2007, he released T.I. vs. T.i.p., which also went platinum. Now, in 2006, T.I. headlined and also starred in a coming-of-age drama called ATL. That was a story about the harsh realities of growing up in the streets of Atlanta. Now, T.I. would simultaneously have a #1 album at the same time as this release, cementing him as a star across the world and across America. T.I. was at the top of hip-hop and top of stardom. Then, in 2007, something crazy happened, man. 13 October 2007, federal authorities, they arrested T.I. only 4 hours before he was supposed to be at the BET Hip Hop Awards in his hometown of Atlanta. So it was a crazy situation involving his bodyguard. Now, his bodyguard, who will remain nameless for this video, helped to set T.I. up, and the ATF agents rushed in and took him and T.I. to custody. Now, there's a long story behind how this developed. Now, T.I., as a felon, is not allowed to purchase firearms. He's not allowed to hold firearms. He shouldn't be around any firearms. Now, T.I. had allegedly reached out to his bodyguard, who was purchasing firearms for the Star. The Star had a whole bunch of things going on. He had a best friend who had been murdered. He had a lot of things going on at his label as far as controversies. Even though his stardom was at the highest heights that he had ever seen, it was still a crazy time for the rapper. And this sting operation, brought on by his bodyguard, only complicated issues and brings us to why T.I. is having problems to this day. Now, after ATF agents busted T.I. and his bodyguard, who tried to purchase weapons from an undercover ATF agent, T.I. had to work hard to stay out of jail for a long period of time. They were trying to give T.I. 20 years in jail at a time when he was at the top of his stardom. T.I. was really trying to make sure he could protect himself in the streets, but now he was really having to protect himself to stay out on the streets as well. Now, the crazy part of it is T.I.'s bodyguard was a confidential informant. He had been busted previously trying to purchase firearms for illegal reasons. Now, once he was busted, he told them that he would give them T.I. just for a lesser sentence and to help the federal government. So he participated in the sting operation that saw T.I. apprehended. Unbeknownst to T.I., the aftermath of this arrest is going to be like none other. This situation is going to propel itself into T.I.'s hip-hop career and his legacy as an MC and a legacy as a stand-up dude. Now, during this case, T.I. was fighting for his life. They were trying to throw 20 years at him, and he just could not do that time. Everything in music and entertainment that could go right was going right. And suddenly he's pulled back into the legal system, and it's looking like he's going to be going back to jail, a place he never wanted to see again. Now, T.I. has to leverage all his resources. He has to work with his legal team to come up with the best opportunity for him to stay out of jail or do the least time as possible. So they come to him with several solutions. A big portion of that is to go in and cop a plea, meaning present a plea deal that shows he is not a menace to society, but can also help the youth because he has the youth's ear at the time. So here you have a unique situation. You have a bona fide superstar who has the ears of millions of young, impressionable kids around the globe, and he's willing to do a little extra to make sure that these kids don't go the same route that he did and to keep himself out of jail. So what does T.I. and his legal team come up with? An idea to where they can cop a plea and he can do 1,500 hours of community service. Now, on the outside looking in, from T.I.'s extensive arrest record and the allegations that were before him, you have to give your hat to his legal team and T.I. because they really got to thinking. So in this plea agreement, along with the community service, he was going to have a TV show. The show was called T.I.'s Road to Redemption, where in 9 episodes, he mentored youth about the dangers of the street life, about the dangers of drug dealing, about the dangers of getting involved in street life as far as gangs or any of that is concerned. Now, this was a genius idea for both MTV, T.I., and his legal team. And it proved to work because with the 1,500 hours that he had to do, he had to make sure that he went to schools and community centers and talked to kids. He did the T.I.'s Road to Redemption TV show, and his sentence was given of 1 year and 1 day. So T.I. only had to do 1 year and 1 day for 2 felony gun charges as a convicted felon. In anybody's judgment, that's a win. That's a win by far for his legal team, and that's a win by far for T.I. Now, a lot of people were upset about this decision. This was a very, very controversial plea deal. This plea arrangement drew a lot of criticism and skepticism from a lot of the hip-hop elites. Hip-hop is filled with a lot of past street dudes, from the Jay-Z's to the 50 Cent. There's a lot of guys who have been in and out of the system, and something about T.I.'s deal just seemed a little too sweet for their liking. But unbeknownst to folks at that time, there was a catch. T.I. was going to have to do something that most rappers would be afraid to do, and that's do a Crimestoppers video telling the youth not to do crime and a number to dial to give off tips and to inform the police if someone is doing crime in their area. T.I. recently said in an interview that this was a last-minute addition, and it was a no-hold-bar, you do this or you don't do this and the whole deal's off type of thing. So T.I. had no choice. He participated in a video that a rapper at the beginning stage of his career knew would destroy his career and his street credibility forever. But T.I., as the king of the South, as a proven solid dude, he felt he had nothing to worry about. He did the Crimestoppers video because he himself didn't feel he was telling on anybody. He was just doing another part of his community service. He never gave up a name. There was no docket statement on him. There was no paperwork to ever show that T.I. was anything less than a stand-up guy. So why not? Now, after the deed was done, the video clip went viral. It's been shown on every hip-hop platform and forum you could think of. Everyone in hip-hop who is an enemy of T.I. has used this clip against him. It goes to show that not every good deed gets a reward. Now, T.I. has had a great career after his release. He's had a couple of other little run-ins with the law, but nothing as serious or to that same magnitude. Now, T.I. has proven throughout his career that he could be a movie star, a rap star, and a help to the community through mentorship and activism in his own right. Now, T.I. maintains his connection to the hip-hop community and is an often contributor in any and everything hip-hop. There's not an issue that passes by that T.I. doesn't give his 2 cents. But every time he goes out of his way to do something, this does come up. Now, will this video surface every time T.I. is doing a good deed? It probably will. It's just something funny for his detractors to poke at while trying to draw kinks in his armor. T.I. is solidified as one of the kings of rap, and it's debatable if he's really the king of the South, but for the most part, T.I.'s career is a masterpiece, and he's done it the right way. Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button, and we out of here. Peace.